Are you ready to unlock the secrets of brand innovation? Here you'll discover unexpected ways to make your brand soar in value. Get ready for inspiring stories, actionable tips, and insights you'll need to build your brand and learn an entirely new way to fly. This is the Hummingbird Effect. And now your host, Wendy Coulter.
Hi, I'm Wendy Coulter, president of Hummingbird Creative Group, where we help CEOs and marketing leaders unlock the hidden power of their brands. For years, business leaders have focused on marketing tactics, but what truly matters is building a strong brand. Have you ever experienced a hummingbird effect? Like the co-evolution of the hummingbird and the flower, this is when small innovations in branding can lead to surprisingly big results in unrelated areas of the business, like an increased valuation, a stronger culture, or an operational breakthrough. Welcome to the show. Today I have Hummingbird's marketing strategist, Hanna Jernigan, with me as usual. Good morning, Hanna.
Hi, Wendy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So I'm so excited about today's guest. She actually had a bit of a stay in North Carolina, so I had met her working at the Morrisville Chamber. Her name is Bri Hensley, and she's a marketing director for Queenstown Harbor near D.C. now. And we're welcoming her to the show today to dive deeper into the world of brand building. You're my research extraordinaire, Hanna. Tell us what you found out about Bri today.
Oh, well, you did touch on a little bit. So she has lived in the same area as Wendy and I, and that is how they met, the Cary Chamber, Morrisville Chamber connection there. Let's see. Bri one time led an educational travel opportunity program and events for international students at the Florence University of the Arts. So I'm sure she has plenty of fun stories to talk about with that. And now she is working for Queenstown Harbor, which you mentioned. So Bri, welcome. Did I touch on everything? Is there another fun fact to share?
That you went way back in my history there. But you pretty much summed it up. I've been working for Queenstown Harbor for 3 years now. I actually worked here 10 years ago as well. So I was invited back when I moved back up here. I was with the Morrisville Chamber for 5 years, dabbled in nonprofit, wedding planning, event planning, so kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I feel like your common thread through everything has been that event piece. Is that what you love to do the most?
Yes, I think it's really exciting. You get to meet so many different people. But then recently I have shifted more towards that marketing aspect, but I'm still in the events world. We have a event venue over here, so still marketing for the events world, definitely.
Well, and I've only seen Queenstown Harbor online, but I must say it is a gorgeous golf area from what I can see. And is it on the Potomac, or is it... What river is that it's on?
Yeah, so we are right on the Chester River, and that feeds right into the Chesapeake Bay. So you can actually see the Chesapeake Bay Bridge from half of our property, which is really cool.
Gorgeous. Yes. Well, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you're in a great place for someone who loves events, just from what I've seen of the website. I'll have to visit next time I come up your way. So let's transition into a hummingbird effect. We would love to hear a specific instance from you where a seemingly small change in your company's marketing or branding strategy led to a significant and positive outcome or results in some other area of the business. Talk to us about what you're thinking a hummingbird effect could have been for you.
Yeah, I think I could talk for hours on so many different things, but for today's purposes, I think my main thread is if you aren't checking in with your audience, you aren't effectively marketing to them. So I stepped into this marketing role almost a year ago now. And one thing that I changed right away was interacting with our audience. Online mostly, but then it also has transitioned into in person. If you check our Google reviews, you'll see that we get so much positive feedback on our customer service. And that goes from the golf side, the lodging side, to our food and beverage, to our beverage cart girls. Every single person that we have on site is going to try to go above and beyond for every client, customer, golfer, bride, whoever you are. And so I've kind of transitioned that into our marketing side, into our marketing strategy of checking in with everyone who visits us or potentially visits us. And then that has actually led into finding a new audience. Golf is rapidly growing, so you can't stay stagnant with what's working. So if you're not checking in with your audience and knowing what they want, how they're changing, then you're not going to be able to continue to grow your business.
So describe for me kind of what you walked into and how through, innovative ways you've implemented something new there.
Yes. So I walked into kind of a delicate transition where we actually had a third-party marketing company working for us, and they were doing just the minimum, kind of to keep us visible at that time. But it was a lot of flyers, graphics, and not forward-facing. It wasn't our faces. It wasn't our clients' faces. And before that, it was very, lack of a better term, it was kind of old school, right? So we did a lot of print advertising. We started working digital, started increasing. But when I really started digging in, that we weren't interacting with our audience. So we were giving in all of the information, which is great, but we weren't receiving anything back. So one thing that I did was I really started researching on social media, people who were talking about us and then interacting with their content that they were posting. And in the past 9 months, I would say we've gotten more people sending us DMs of pictures they've taken on site because we then post them, and everybody loves to be featured, right? So we're not only getting our content out to more people, but other people are now posting on our behalf and getting to their followers. And so I think that's probably the biggest change that I've seen. And I would say even in copy of our social media, of our print advertising, we've taken it more of a client-focused as opposed to information promotional focus. And so that has really changed how people see us. The brand tone has changed because we're not marketing as a business anymore. We're marketing ourselves as a person, essentially. We've created a brand persona that's an actual person. That's your friend. That's friends of these customers that are coming on site. And I think that's really changed. We almost immediately, that when I changed that tone, we saw our views digitally go triple of what they were, I want to say, within like 2 days. So
that's a great measurement.
Yeah.
So you're embracing what we hear about so much now, and it's a big trend in marketing, which is user-generated content. Mm-hmm. UGS for the listeners who are trying to keep up with all the marketing lingo in the world today. And it sounds like that has made a tremendous difference, is letting your customers have their own voice as part of your brand voice too, and being their friend as your persona, which is so interesting. And so talk to me some more about measurements, because you're touching on that, and I kind of went down that path with you, but I'd love to hear more about how you're measuring online and what you're seeing happen.
Yeah, so I'm a big analytics person. So if there's not a number, I don't want to see it. But pretty much our biggest goals right now are visibility. And so we're really looking at those viewable impressions, those number of views that you can see, the little numbers on like Instagram and TikTok of all the reel videos. That's kind of my main source of is this working? Is this resonating with our audience? And then in the return, we've seen increased leads come in. We've seen people noting that they saw us on Google, that they saw us on TikTok or wherever it may be. But they're actually saying that to our front staff as well. So not only are we getting those digital leads, but we're also getting the people coming in of, oh, I saw your reel the other day and it reminded me that you have this great new technology that I need to come try out. Or, oh, I didn't know you have this. We've gotten those comments as well. So I think that's probably the biggest measures that I'm currently using is that visibility, the views. And then, of course, you always want to look at that engagement. How many comments, shares, likes are you getting? I love the shares right now because if we share something, then other people share it, then it goes to how many more people.
So we always talk about kind of the difference between tactics and strategy. And so you are able to measure these tactics individually and what's going on with things. But talk to me about strategically, what were the business metrics, what goals are set, and how you're meeting or exceeding those higher level strategic business goals, and where you see that able to take you next.
Yes. So we are a unicorn property. So we have golf, we have lodging, we have a wedding venue, we have a driving range, and we have a small restaurant. And then we have a trajectory kind of to double everything we have in the next 5 years to add more. So when we talk marketing strategy, we're looking at all 5 of these content pillars and saying, how do we bring them together? And how do we market them to this 5 different demographics, but also to the same demographic? So that's kind of our overall marketing strategy, which is a lot, right? So one person doing all of these content pillars is a little on the crazy side, but it also keeps our marketing strategy super tight. So I am a marketing director who I am talking to every single one of those content people on site every single day. What's going on in the golf? What's our tee sheet look like today? How are our lodging guests reacting to X, Y, and Z on site as well as digitally? How many wedding leads have we gotten today? How many corporate meeting leads have we got today? How many retreat leads have we got today? How many people came in and had lunch during lunchtime today? Did all of these different things. And so our overall arching marketing strategy really is, how do these 5 pillars connect? And how do we get that message out to these 5 different demographics? And that's a lot. So the main way that we look at these different things and measure these different things is different for each content. So lodging, we're pretty booked up every weekend, about a year out. So we look at what leads are coming in on a daily basis. What is our availability and how is that going to grow in the future? Why that's kind of my job with that portion is pretty much giving numbers to support why we need to build more cottages, right? With other things, so we have a new driving range that is very technologically savvy with it's called Top Tracer. So it's it's the same technology that Topgolf has.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we have our golfers love that, right? But then now we're marketing, how do we get females here? How do we get the non-golfers here? We are not a big city, so it's very much concentrated of how do we get those people to come to our destination? And the main thing of that is I love hearing, oh, I didn't know you had that too. And so a lot of our wedding parties will actually have their welcome party at our Top Tracer range now. And so we're marketing Top Tracer not only to the golfers that are already coming, but the wedding couples that are coming. And we're involving the males, right, in the wedding-dominated female demographic into that wedding planning. So it's really making everything a mutual activity of golf is not just my husband. It can be, I'm going to come and go sit on the back of the patio over the Chester River, right? While my husband plays golf. Or I'm going to grab some of my girlfriends and we're going to go to Top Tracer and have some seltzers and hit a few balls. And maybe one day I'll be able to get on the course with my husband and learn how to do that. So kind of that's really where we're leading to in the future. We have a pretty set foundation of where we've been for the past 7-10 years. And now it's how do we connect all of these pieces to grow to the future,
Are you ready to find your own hummingbird effect and enable your brand to take flight? Wendy would love to chat with you. Schedule a 30-minute call with her to discuss how she can help transform your brand. Visit the link in the show notes to book your appointment or send an email to wendy@hummingbird-creative.com. Take your brand to new heights. Schedule your quick 30-minute call today.
So, how has company culture and morale been influenced by some of the new strategies that you've been putting in place? Personas is interesting to talk about in this way too. You know, you said that your persona has become a friend to your customer, right? Has that had an impact on employee morale and company culture in a deep way as well as marketing?
I think so. Definitely. For the longest time, we were just a golf course. So we had the older demographic. The same guys came every morning and had the same tee time and saw the same starters every morning. It was very much a good buddy morale, right? Well, now we're having people who don't know how to play golf, people who are just coming for the views, people who are just coming for a wedding weekend who may or may not ever come back. And so that's completely changed the demographic of client that we have. We've added more staff because of that, and it's been more of a younger staff, right? So now we're having these intergenerational communication styles, and even on the marketing side of we're marketing differently, right? So we have our customer journey for each of these 5 pillars. I have taken it a step further and kind of created a brand product persona for each of these. So it's that customer journey's best friend, right? So the guys who are coming to golf, that brand persona is more of that loose, fun. We want to do all the fun things, get a little bit competitive. But it is more boisterous, right? So, you know, guys and their guy weekends, golf, we're playing poker, we're getting out on the boat. That's our brand persona for that demographic. But then you look on the other side of our weddings, our wedding client, that brand persona is really, we are here to support you. We are that, I think of like Elle Woods and Legally Blonde, right? So like everybody loves us. We are pretty, we are nice. But we are here to support you. We are a girl's girl. So 2 very different demographics, right? But they can definitely go together. So it's really finding that wedding weekend where we need to get the guys on board, right? Like you can come play golf, you can come hang out with your bachelor party, you can come hang out, but then your girls, you are planning the best day of your entire life that you've dreamed of since you were 12. And we're going to support you through that in a completely different way that we're going to support the guys. So it's really that culture on site has changed tremendously, but it's super fun to see how everybody interacts as well. Literally one of my best friends on site is like a 79-year-old guy who he always gives me the biggest hug when he sees me. And it's like having a grandpa, right? So I feel like that's how a lot of our employees have kind of interacted. You kind of like buddy up. You have your older generation with your younger generation, talking to each other, going out and playing golf. We have an employee tournament every year, and you'll see so many different people and generations in each of those groups. It's really fun. Definitely a challenge, definitely a transition that we're going to keep fighting through, right? But it's a lot of fun, and I think it helps bring the different demographics that we can serve to property as well.
So we're really kind of straightforward about what marketing is all about here at Hummingbird, in the sense that there is a lot of experimentation that happens, right?
Yeah.
Everything isn't black and white. You don't always get it right on the first shot. You've got to keep trying new things. Can you talk to me about how you use experimentation? I mean, with all of these different demographics, I'm sure you've got tons of examples.
Oh, yes, definitely. So one thing that comes to mind is when we opened our renovated Top Tracer range. It was more in the winter, so it was just about to be spring. The leaves haven't come in yet. And so it is right on the creek. So in the winter, you can see the water, right? In the summer, once those trees grow in, it's a little bit harder. You have to kind of look for it a little bit more. And so one of the things that I did in my messaging and my copy was, you're right on the water. I forget exactly how I said it, but water views from every bay, I think is something like that. And some of our golf guys was like, that's not true. That's not true. We're going to have older guys coming and expecting to see the water. And then we're going to have to like take the rap for it. And I'm like, it is true, even though, so it's like, it's getting through those barriers. It's there. It's getting them to really understand that marketing is, it's a nuance, right? It getting them here, or at least getting them to look again. That messaging was really like, oh, I'm going to go to this website. And then you'll see like, you can't, it's not a water view, right?
Right.
But so it's like social media is really that first point of, I need to get in front of you, and then you'll go to our website. You have to go to our website to book a tee time or book a bay or send in a lead form. You have water views from every single point on our property, and it's different in different seasons, but that's also where that messaging comes from. So when we're sending out that message in March, when the leaves haven't grown in, yes, you can see the water. But if somebody comes in July and the trees have grown in, they're not looking 3 months back in our Instagram to see what our caption was. And so I think that is one of the biggest challenges of getting the right messaging out. But it was also a learning curve for me of, okay, I need to slow roll into this messaging shift and not just jump right into it. So that was something that I had to kind of like take myself back on of, I know there's water there. Everybody here knows there's water there. But yeah, I can see your point of, if somebody comes in June or July, you have to look really hard for that water. So it's really that give and take. It's really understanding you can't just make that shift automatically. But now we do have people coming who are like, oh yeah, I can see the water. That's awesome. Being aware of how to make that shift, I think, is really important.
And I think so many people make assumptions that something could be a problem that doesn't turn into necessarily a problem. And so that's part of the art, right, of answering to people's concerns. And so I want to take a step back to the hummingbird effect and the idea of like really listening to what customers have to say.
Yeah.
What do you believe you've learned from that as a lesson so far? And then how is that going to change your approach going forward, or what's next? Like, what's the next plan?
So I think that listening to customers is, I'm someone who always is learning. I love to research all the new different trends and, all that fun stuff, all the algorithms. So I think something that I've learned from listening to our customers is we have to look back, what's working, what is that traditional messaging, and then how can we keep it the same but shift it to get that new group while also keeping this group happy, right? And so, I mean, you can't keep everyone happy all the time, especially with growth. Some people just don't want to grow. They love what they've been coming to for 20 years, which I fully respect and understand. But it's really like making sure that those people know that your golf is still the same. Your river course, your lakes course is still the same thing that you've always loved. We're making it better, and we're bringing your daughter in. We're bringing your granddaughter in. So we're really trying to make it a generational place. And I think that has been the biggest lesson that I've learned from listening to the customers, of making that brand persona the same thing that you've always loved, but then introducing that new generation as well, which actually supports that first. So,
Hanna, I feel like Bri has unlocked so many opportunities with what she's been able to do by talking with the customers. What do you think about this? What are you taking away from the conversation?
I think I've changed the direction of what I'm kind of taking away a lot of times. And Bri, I like to kind of bring us all back together and kind of highlight some of the points that I've heard to see if we need to kind of talk more about anything. So first of all, thank you for talking through all of this. It was really insightful. But you said this, but if we had to pinpoint your hummingbird effect and to restate it, it would be your move from one-way marketing to intentional two-way communication. The act of simply checking in with your audience, both online and person. It may seem small or it may seem simple to someone coming in, but it changed everything for you all. By listening first, you created room and space for your audience to talk back, to share stories, photos, feedback, and in return, your marketing became more personal. It was more engaging, and I would say it's more human, especially if you're using your people to show it off. So visibility and awareness, you said, went up very quickly. I think you said like 3 days.
Yes.
So more people started showing up and speaking up, and the brand became something people wanted to be a part of rather than just somewhere that they come to visit. But what's even more powerful, I think, and you haven't touched on it a lot, but I'm hearing it and kind of what you're saying, is a shift that impacted your team. When you made listening and communication part of the culture of your place, it sent that strong messaging internally of you already know what you need to know. You just have to listen. You already know the brand persona. You already know the voice that we're using. You just need to listen to the people that are coming to you. And that clarity builds confidence, whether it's someone starting their career, because often at golf courses, you do see younger kids who have a summer job, even to the oldest people who are having a lot of change happen. So I think that clarity helps build confidence with your team. It helps your team trust themselves and to be able to make decisions that don't always have to be run through you. So they can lead conversations and they know the right things to do to get the results because they've seen you do it. So I guess for everyone listening, the takeaway is you don't always need a giant rebrand or a big flashy campaign. They're great. Sometimes I guess the most powerful thing you can do is listen. Create a brand that listens, to trust your team and to trust the work that you're doing puts the right people in the right places. That was a lot. I know you were expecting all of that, but there was a lot that I took from you of just sometimes the simple change is the right change. So yeah, sorry, that was long-winded.
I love it, Hanna. You always recap so awesome and great takeaways. Great takeaways. Bri, we really appreciate your insights today and giving us your time in this not in the studio, but
Right.
here on the podcast to explore the hummingbird effect in action. Would you like to share your contact information with our listeners today?
Yes, definitely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Bri Hensley. Or look up Queenstown Harbor. You can find me on there as well. And then if anybody wants to continue talking, feel free to send me an email, bri@bribydesign.com. I'd love to get your insights and your thoughts and maybe how you took your culture and shifted it or listened to your customers. And I like I said, I'm always love learning, so I love hearing those outside perspectives.
Well, I just want to thank each of our listeners for giving us your time and energy today. I hope we've brought you some joy through this episode with Bri, and I hope you can take what you learned today and go find your own hummingbird effect.
Thanks for listening to The Hummingbird Effect with Wendy Coulter. We hope you found this episode valuable. Please be sure to rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more or to work with Wendy and her team, go to hummingbird-creative.com.